Back in the days of the old League of Legends lore, where all the champions were essentially co-workers and Tarek was the main character of an isekai anime, I had my own little headcanon. Since most of the other game's mechanics were tied directly to the lore, I thought the same must be true for the patch notes. For example, maybe Garen did a few more push-ups this week so they gave him a buff. Or maybe Vi was lurking around online and came across the ungodly amounts of hentai between her and Caitlyn, so she got a nerf that patch due to the emotional trauma. Following that logic, Nidalee must like to drink paint, which is why she forgot half her fucking kit. First, they came for her root, and I said nothing. Then they came for her resets, and I'm gonna stop this analogy right here before I start to look like one of those good people on both sides kind of guys. It got to the point where they had to change the entire fucking jungle just to keep her from being picker banned. Now, the only AP junglers that can survive in the meta are troll picks that get nerfed into oblivion anyway because Riot hates fun. Rest in peace, Jungle Morgana.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
And remember that all of this came about because Nidalee had an oppressive win rate and was picked way too often in high elos. Anything lower than Diamond and it was like a baby trying to pilot a Megazord. I spent way more time than I should have trying to learn where to place traps and timing my resets just to keep myself from getting executed by Red Buff at level 2. I like to think I at least got to Rugrats and Paris levels of mech piloting infants, but then they decided that Nidalee was too OP and just gutted her. The worst part is that while I'm over here throwing my tendies in the air and reeing to the heavens in protest, the pros were still playing Nidalee and still doing well with her. Sure, their clears were a little slower, but at least they weren't still trying to do their first Raptor camp by the time the enemy team took their inhib. But then the jungle rework happened, and everyone switched to whatever flavor of the week champion replaced her, probably Zag or something, because the meta is a fickle bitch. Now, you're probably thinking, hey Beefy, why are you complaining about changes from 2 years ago? Isn't there something a little more relevant you could make a video on? Do you have a physical attraction to Pool Party Fiora that borders on fetishistic? Well, I'm not sure why you're thinking that last one, but...
Yes I do!
This isn't a matter of bringing up something from 2 years ago. This is a matter of bringing up something that's still going on after 2 years. Nidalee is just an example of an ongoing phenomenon in Riot's design philosophy. Trickle-down meta. Riot balances and changes the game to suit pro play. Then, the meta gets passed down to the YouTubers and streamers, who then share the strat with their audiences. Problem is, by the time the little people have figured out and gotten comfortable with the latest trend, Riot has already nerfed it or buffed something else to the degree that it might as well have gotten a nerf and everyone has to scramble to catch up. I know that constantly changing the game is supposed to keep things fresh, but when your mid laner is still stacking Doran's runes because they didn't realize that got patched out, you start to wish there was an FF and champ select option. I mean, of course Riot is going to cater to pro play, that's where they make their money. And if my teammates would just realize that they're not the next Faker and stop trying to make high-tier cheese work in low elos, it wouldn't be so infuriating. But it doesn't stop there. No, they had to change the entire flow of the game just to make pro play more interesting. Nobody wants to watch pro teams farm for 20 minutes, Baron spawning before we even see first blood, so Riot tried to speed things up. They put more emphasis on early objectives, added in first tower gold, and made Season 7 a nightmare to play in. I don't know if any of you youngins remember Season 7, but it's the reason we have the early surrender vote. Games got so snowbally that when someone typed GG in chat after the enemy team scored first blood, they weren't wrong. It took creating the Ardent Censor meta to make the actual game last longer than the goddamn champ select. And now we're seeing it all over again. Pro games aren't as fun to watch, so now we gotta fry up some delicious rotatos and see who can 5-man rush bot lane first. 5-man invades used to be a cheese strat, but now it's practically meta. They even tried to make Cloud Drake a contested objective. Fucking Cloud Drake. What's next? Are we expected to fight over cannon minions? Oh wait, I just want to farm, man. I'm not looking to score a pentakill before the minions even spawn. But because Riot thinks people won't buy tickets to the LCS zoo unless they make the monkeys jump around the cage, I'm wasting starting gold on control ward so I don't get goon squatted at my first buff. It's ironic, don't you think? Nidalee got her cool shit redacted to slow down her clear speed so she can't gank as early, but now top might as well be a duo lane considering how quickly and how often you're expected to be there. And now, we're left with a champ who might as well be a support, since that's all she can do late game anyway. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just cut out the middleman and make her a support. She has a heal, and her traps are basically just wards anyway. We can just save her cougar form for when your ADC is too busy missing a caster minion to secure the kill. Can't be any worse than half the shit we see from support players, right? Right?